markets, it does appear perhaps that we're in the middle of a bear market for stocks, according to Dennis Gartman. He's economist and editor of the Gartman Letter. He says, in fact, decisions made at last month's G20 summit could even make things worse. Well, let's hope not. Dennis joins us now from Virginia Beach to explain these views. Good morning, Dennis.
Good morning, Margaret.
You know, explain to me. I was reading your note this morning, and you rightly lead with the yen and the gains that we're seeing there. If you look at U.S. equities, it looks like we're in an up market, but the yen would tell you there's still fear. There's still a clinging to safety. Is that the right way to read it?
I think that's the way you have to read it, Margaret. If you look over the course of the past several years, the periods of time when the yen gains on the euro, you end up seeing stock prices deteriorate. It's unwinding or winding up, whichever way you want to think of it, in terms of the carry trade. So I look at the yen-euro cross on a hour-by-hour, day-by-day, and certainly by week-by-week view. And right now, with the yen gaining on euro, it argues for weaker share prices. It argues for a weaker domestic, and it argues for a weaker global economy. And as your lead-in said, I'm very concerned about what was done last week at the G8/G20 meetings, when they decided that it's the best thing of all worlds to not only slash spending, but to also raise taxes in order to try to balance budgets. I think that's dangerous at this point.
Does that mean that you would rather see the continuation of stimulus, a continuation of jobless benefits, a continuation of housing credits there?
Well, there are all sorts of rather untoward and sticky sorts of economic stimulus programs that go into effect. I'd rather be much simpler. Let's cut spending a little bit. Let's cut taxes dramatically. Let's do the things that the Russians have done. Let's do the things that New Zealand did back in the early 1980s, when they cut taxes, saw their economies turn around, saw tax revenues go up dramatically. I think by raising taxes in order to sound fiscally responsible and try to balance budgets, I think is debilitating. I really do think it's a return to 1930s types policies, and that I find disconcerting.